Hello there, this is James and you're watching Tixee Live. And a very good afternoon to all of you, and all of you a very happy Monday. In today's program, I want to chat about how this week is potentially massive because we have some really key earning reports due this week. And one in particular, I want to take a little closer look at. Plus, we have a new Prime Minister in the UK. So have a little chat about that as well. But before we get into all of that, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research, do your own diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out of the way, let's get started. So yeah, we've had, we all know this, the earnings season, but this week, we have some key tech earnings. There's a couple I want to talk about and have a little closer look at. And one in particular I'm very interested in. Now, Tuesday, we have Alphabet and Google. So this is coming out tomorrow. Now, one in particular on this one, for me, is going to be Google. Because don't forget, Snap Incorporated, Snapchat, it reported less earnings than anticipated. In fact, it was just as bad as quarter two. And they have declined to do any forward guidance, to say any forecast for any future earnings. This obviously hit Alphabet because the reason why Snap missed its earning estimates is because of the lack of advertising it's selling. And obviously Google relies on digital media a lot to sell advertising as well. So Google's going to be really fascinating. Coca-Cola will be another fascinating one to watch as well. But really, it's going to be tech, it's going to be Alphabet. But then Wednesday's the real big one for me, because Wednesday we have Microsoft and, more importantly, in my opinion, Meta Platforms, which is, of course, Facebook. Now, don't forget, Facebook is also relying very much on selling ads online. It's digital advertising. So again, this is going to be really key, but there's a couple other things I want to talk about Facebook in reference to that. I mean, today, Meta Platforms, Facebook, their share price fell in pre-market 1.1% after Bank of America downgrades the company to neutral from a buy. As well as that, investors of Meta Platforms are being pretty vocal, and they've actually asked Meta to reduce 20% of its workforce and to stop investment in its new technology it's developing, to reduce the investment, okay? So I think this is going to be a really fascinating earnings report to see, because like I say, if it does go the same direction as Snap, then it could potentially come under a lot of pressure. And don't forget, so far this year, Meta share price is actually down by 61% so far this year. 61% so far this year. So for me personally, this earning report is the big one this week. It's definitely going to be Meta Platforms, but it doesn't stop there. We'll have a quick look at Facebook, see where it is at the moment, in the moment. But the other thing is happening on Thursday is another biggie, two big ones, and this one's going to be interesting as well, which is, of course, it's Apple and Amazon. I'd be interested to see Apple. Okay, because don't forget, they have actually said a couple of weeks back, they got downgraded as well by a Bank of America, don't forget. And as well as that, they have stopped increasing production on their latest iPhone 14 because demand is not so large there. So don't forget they've done that. Hello there, how you doing? Do I think Meta would do a bit better this time? Look, I say my concern with this is my concern. Okay, like I say, their earnings in quarter two wasn't brilliant either. Okay, it wasn't a disaster like many people had anticipated. But I just have a feeling with investors in Meta actually, being vocal, telling them they need to downsize on certain things, there is a concern there. There is a concern there, and I again, it's difficult to call because nobody knows. Nobody knows. Netflix earnings did better than anticipated, but Tesla's did worse. I seem to think that Meta is going to be really interesting and fascinating to watch because I am expecting some fireworks potentially with that on that earnings report. So I do have a feeling, like I say, if we're getting investors which are being vocal and it's being downgraded to neutral, then obviously I think there's a lot of people concerned with this earning report. A A lot of people concerned, but a very good question. Thank you for that. Apple and Amazon. Yeah, like I say, that comes out on Thursday. Apple will be fascinating to see as well, because don't forget, they got that downgraded by Bank of America. Plus, so like I say, the production issues with their new flagship iPhone 14 as well. They've not increasing the production because the demand is not there. So it'll be interesting to see how Apple does, as well as Amazon, of course. Friday, totally different sector. ExxonMobil is coming out on Friday. But for me, it's Meta, and I'll be interested to see what Apple does as well. I'm very interested in Apple and Alphabet as well. We'll see if they're affected like Snap is. But anyway, let's have a quick look at see where Facebook is or Meta is trading at the moment. Let's have a quick look, see if we can find it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Give me a second. So, yeah, as you can see, again, we've had several gaps. This is on a 30-minute chart. It has opened in a gap downwards, currently trading at $125.44. When it closed on Friday, it was close to $130. So clearly, the market is feeling pretty spooked with Meta at the moment. Anyway, moving on to the other story of the day. I didn't put a headline because I didn't want to talk about it that much, because we've been talking so much about the UK over the last couple of videos. So I wanted to really just briefly mention it, and we'll have a quick look at the sterling as well. But yes, indeed, it looks like the UK has a new Prime Minister. And Larry the Cat, who lives at number 10, has a new owner. It's his fifth owner in 6 years. And that's amazing. 5 prime ministers in 6 years. So yes, it does look to be Rishi Sunak will be the UK's next prime minister after Penny Mordaunt drops out of the Tory leadership race. So it's now his. It's funny to think what would happen if he got in 7 weeks ago, because let's face it, he inherits a huge mess left by his short-lived predecessor. But anyway, let's have a quick look at the sterling, because it's found it's a bit steadier today, obviously, because I think the market is sort of calmer. They always think that Sunak, who, don't forget, he was the Chancellor of the Exchequer before, so he has a lot of experience in finance. They do sort of feel that maybe this guy is going to be a better job of handling the markets and keeping the markets calm. But let's have a quick look at the sterling, see where the sterling is at the moment. And then we can stop talking about the UK, hopefully. Like I say, again, the fundamentals are still in place, though. Still pretty sideways. It got a bit of a bounce on the announcement that Sunak was stepping in, but it's still pressured. You still got that dollar strength. Like I said this morning, don't forget, ING think any gains the sterling might have against the US dollar is capped at 115. It's currently trading just under the 113 handle, currently trading at 1.1285. So yeah, again, like I said, the fundamentals are still intact. You know, a new leader doesn't change the situation of A, what he's inheriting, B, inflation at a 40-year high at 10.1, and the UK basically in a nearly in a recession. So it doesn't change those fundamentals. Plus we still have a very strong greenback, of course. Euro sterling as well, pretty much the same. The euro's got a bit of a bounce on that. Like I say, it doesn't change the fundamentals, but the sterling is in a very, very tight spot. Well, we're at the market. So a quick look, see where the euro is. Pretty range bound today, despite that negative PMI. Currently still trading at around the 98 handle, 0.9861. While we're at it, we haven't talked about this or looked at this for a while. My old favorite, which is gold. Obviously, currently trading under that key potential area of interest of $1,667. Currently still pressure. We're still seeing dollar strength. And don't forget, bond yields is also hurting the yellow metal. Currently trading at $1,646 an ounce. Other news, something else I want to briefly talk about as well today. Oil. The other commodity we should talk about. Oil is under pressure. Okay. Oil was under pressure. Don't forget, it got a bit of a boost a little while back. For one, obviously, we all know what OPEC has decided to do and sort of cut production. But as well as that, China was coming out to play, so it got a bit of a boost. However, we've had some negative Chinese data. Chinese September crude imports was 9.79 million barrels per day. Don't forget, China is the biggest importer of crude. Now, 9.79 million barrels per day sounds like quite an impressive number. However, that's actually 2% from the same time last year. So it goes to show that the demand has not returned yet, even though there's a chance they can come out to play from the COVID zero lockdowns. Don't forget, if they have another outbreak, their COVID zero tolerance policy is going to be strict. So they're going to lockdown again. So this is why oil has been spooked. So let's have a quick look at oil as well. Let's see where oil is as well. Where have I got it? Here it is. So as you can see, again, this is on a 30-minute chart. Currently trading at $84.67. But on the day, technically, it's like I say, it is under pressure because, like I say, that report is not good. You know, especially when we need the demand to rise to keep the oil prices steady, but demand is waning. Key events, of course, to come for this week, not just earning report, even though I'm more excited about the Meta platform one. We've got obviously Bank of Canada interest rate decision, ECB interest rate decision, US durable goods, and German GDP and German CPI to come. European equities, as they currently stand, firstly currently trading in the green at 0.62%. That's currently trading in the green, 1.54%. And Euro Stock 50 trading in the green, up 1.50%. Don't forget, you can talk to me anytime you wish. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's the idea. I just wanted, obviously, I appreciate that. I want to make sure people are aware of what's happening in the markets and explain it, you know, if people have questions. You know, for beginners, you know what I mean. But thank you, Richard. That's very kind of you to say. I hope you find it useful. Don't forget, if you think of a question later as well, after I've gone off air, you can put it in the comment section, either on Facebook and YouTube. I will see it and I will reply to it next time I go live on air, which of course is tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. UTC, and again tomorrow at 2 p.m. UTC to cover the US session. Plus, tomorrow, I would like to make a little announcement about a new series I'm going to be doing, a new educational series. So I'll be sharing that with you tomorrow. So please come and join me for that. If there is no questions, not a problem. Thank you very much for Rule R, sorry, for the good question about Meta, and Richard as well for a nice comment about what we try and do with Tixee Life. I really appreciate that. Anyway, as I always say, if you're watching me on Facebook and you enjoyed this little video, by all means give us a follow. If you're watching me on YouTube and you enjoyed this little video, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time I'm going live. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful and interesting, then give me one of these. It's nice to know that you like what I do. You see I've got a like already, which I really appreciate. Anyway, till next time, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence. And of course, know the risks at hand for entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.